I'm in my room, we're getting ready to go try the underwater photo. And this is one of the harder shots to do in wakeboarding or wake skating. Super choppy outside right now, so there's a lot of wind. So I'm not really sure how well this trick is going to work, the effect anyway. The glassier the better, for the most part usually. You get better results with that. Couldn't find my certification. I am certified with PADI to dive and scuba, but I couldn't find it, so therefore I'm forced to free dive. And I just got a wetsuit, a mask, and some fins. And I'm going to have some other divers underwater that might be able to grab my ankles where I can stay still and point up. The closer you are to the water surface, the faster the guy's going to go by. The deeper you are, the slower he's going to appear to go by, which will give me a little more time to track him and find where he's at. It's something pretty difficult to do. The exposure is kind of weird. You got to guess the focal length. But we're going to try it with a few different riders, Eddie Valdez, a few of the other guys, and I'm about to get a pretty good workout. So I got to swim down every time, come back up, talk to the person, swim back down. And the idea is we want to shooting up with the rider going by, and then have other people, the other riders, are underwater, kind of floating at different stages, and as the guy goes over the top on the surface. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely easier said than done. Tourist beach, you could call that. But I'm in my room doing this audio because you can hear a lot better. It's so windy outside. The tricky part with what I'm about to do is when you go underwater, everything's magnified by 20%. So I'm going to shoot it with a wide-angle lens because I've got the best chance of setting it on an infinity focus where I have a better chance of the guy being sharp. As I preset all my gear, I'm going to crank up the ISO a little bit because the amount of sunlight once you go underwater decreases the deeper you go. Granted, I'm going to be looking up into the sun, but I think the higher the ISO, the better chance I'm going to be able to have with a faster shutter speed. I still want to shoot it at thousandths of a second, which is usually what we shoot wakeboarding at, because I want the guy that's going to be on the surface going by the camera, I want him to be perfectly still. I'll be able to make minor adjustments after each guy attempts to ride by. Everything happens so fast. It's a whole lot of work for such a quick thing. So every time I swim down, like I said before with the magnification, that's going to play a huge role as far as the distance. If everything's 20% larger, I'm trying to focus on the guy. I'm guessing a distance for one, but then I have to play the magnification part into it as well. The depth, what I'm guessing, I still haven't been out in the water, so I don't even know how deep it is out there. If it's 20 feet, that's plenty deep for me. I think only 10 feet should be good. The deeper the better, because the guy's going to go by slower, but it's just a lot more work. So basically I have to sit on the surface, eyeball the person from a distance, wait till the line gets tight, and then start kicking as fast as I can. Swim down, block my ankles onto somebody else down there waiting for me that's weighted up. Look up, wait for the guy, flies by me, swim back to the top, and talk to him there once again and tell him to do anything different. Once I switch out this port, this is for the port that's on it now is for a shot that we were doing earlier. So I put the wide angle port on the water housing. Then when you shoot the photo, the wide angle in the lens, if I left this port on there now, you'd see the walls of it. So I need to take it off and put this wider dome like so. And it's nice and clear, so it shoots for super wide and you won't see the edges. So now I got this dome housing on, I'll screw down the O-ring seal. I'll keep the water out, hopefully. I guess the good part about not being able to dive is I don't really want this thing underwater that too long. It's going to be real buoyant. There's a lot of air in it, making the swim down a little more difficult. But hopefully this will get a good enough seal where none of that ugly salt water will get in there and ruin the entire camera and probably the rest of the trip. So it's really important to make sure that you check this seal and look at the rubber on the ring so that everything's super snug and tight, and then should be good to go.
Alright, what up, we're here at the Breezes Hotel. We're getting ready, you know, they were nice enough to let us ride the beach here. We're getting ready to do a little Carve stash. You're going to get down in some scuba gear. Maybe the team's going to get down underneath with you and try to get, you know, a dope shot.
What are you going to do?
I'm just going to do a little sledge, give it a quick heel cut to toe, and then hopefully lay down a good, you know, spray.
Cool. Okay.
Taking up someone's zone.
Here goes nothing. We got plenty of shots of the team playing around underwater, and here's a shot of Eddie Valdez doing the wakeboarding. Alright, I just got out of the water. So much harder than I always think it is when I'm going into it. First few tries, I didn't know if we were going to get anything. We got something that was decent. Wasn't absolutely picture perfect like I usually try to do or like to do. I guessed completely wrong on the focal thing. I had to stop. We went like 10-15 tries, and then I stopped and made some adjustments, went into shore, dried off, talked to the guys, put it on autofocus, which I usually don't do because you blow a lot of shots doing that. But I figured if there's other people in the water, hopefully the camera could grab one of their silhouettes, and then hopefully the wakeboard would be just above them, so the focal distance should be pretty similar. So thank God I did that, because the first batch of photos we did before we took a break, nothing was salvageable. Everything was blurry and out of focus. Everything looked really cool. It was a great idea. The shoes and everything, the product looked cool underwater. Everyone floating there. But it was a good thing I stopped and looked at the images. I made a few adjustments. I was getting plenty of sunlight looking straight into the light, so I knocked the ISO back to 200 where I usually shoot it at, and put the camera on autofocus, hoping for the best. Got everyone back together, went back out there, tried it again, and we had a wake skater. James Balzer was out there, Nick Taylor, Eddie Valdez was doing the wakeboarding, and then the rest of the team was underwater with me with scuba gear or just swimming, and we got a pretty good shot. It was decent enough. I kind of want to try it again if we got time. Maybe we can do it tomorrow, but we'll see how the schedule goes. There was a lot of downtime between each frame. Sometimes I'd miss the rider completely, but this last one here was as good as it was going to get.